Colby, do you know where my mind escapes to? My unconscious mind?
No, Barry. Where's it go?
In dreams and the internet. Because there's porn. That's kidding. Oh my gosh. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Theme music.
Well-
Yeah, this movie had way less porn in it than it could have.
It did have a slight amount.
A slight
Like, well, not porn, but like, nudity.
insinuendos.
Insinuendos. I saw boobs. Did you not see boobs?
Those little boobs.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the third week of the new year.
Right?
Hopefully, you guys are your New Year's resolutions are holding strong.
Right, and hopefully your New Year's resolution is to hit every one of our podcasts this year.
That's right, that, and then hopefully I'm employed by this time. That would be a nice resolution. Oh man, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about a movie that you guys might seem familiar with, right? But before we get into what the movie is, let's go into our Dr. Seuss segment.
Yeah.
A lot of spice with a little bit of seasoning, but in the dream world there is no reasoning. When a dream terrorist takes control of the DC Mini, Dr. Atsuko and Dr. Tokita are in a tiffy. Will they be able to solve this mystery with a eureka? Let's find out in 2006 Paprika. Because they're scientists, eureka.
Yep.
Yes, today we're going to be talking about the 2006 movie by Satoshi Kon, Paprika.
Yeah. This is one of those ones. Like I was in an anime club in college, and then afterwards, and there was like a big era of anime, like 10 years of like hardcore anime fan, and then I feel like early 2000s I kind of faded out of that.
Well, you were busy.
Yeah.
You
got
were
married.
opening,
I got opened my first comic store.
Yeah.
And so like I still tried to stay on top of things, but this just under my radar.
I mean, yeah, like Satoshi Kon, rest his soul.
Right.
Super sad that we never got his last movie. I mean, I respect to him because if you guys don't know, Satoshi Kon actually passed away in 2010, I believe. He had pancreatic cancer, and
That's
he
not
just
one of the fun ones.
I don't know if any of them are fun.
That is the least fun one.
But respect to him though, because instead of like maybe I have to finish my last work, he decided to just spend time with his family,
Right.
with his last like days and stuff. Like it's very reminiscent of Black Panther, the
Yeah.
actor from Black Panther. Nobody knew, did you? Because I didn't.
Right.
He looked
Right.
great. But yeah, no, like this guy, if you guys don't know him, he is probably his most prolific movie was Perfect Blue.
Right.
The 1997 one.
Yeah.
Which I believe you watched.
Yep.
Back in Anime Club Day. It was a couple years before your shop was opening up. But he also had Millennium Girls, Tokyo Godfather.
Yeah.
Which I was like a favorite holiday movie, which we actually featured on our TikTok as one of the 25 Days of Christmas.
Yep. The recommended movies to watch for the holidays.
Yeah, it's. But this one is a movie. Paprika is a movie that had actually inspired Christopher Nolan's Inception. And if you know, like one of the more prolific scenes in this movie is very reminiscent of a scene with a one Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Did you see the scene? Did you like? That looks familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
there was a couple scenes in here also that I was like, the Matrix people, they have to have seen this.
Well, no, this came out in 2006, so I.
Maybe not. You're
Yeah.
right. That kind of timing is
off.
is off.
I think like by the time the third horrific movie of The Matrix came out, like 2004 or something like that.
Was it really that
Well, like Matrix 1 probably came out in 99.
So old.
It's hard to remember. It's like 20 plus years ago. We're old.
Okay, well then, on the opposite side, the animators for this, they must have watched The Matrix.
Yeah. But yeah, like Satoshi Kon has like all of his works, because like he's like, I think he is like super underrated. I feel like, even in the anime community, you know, everyone's always talking about like Hayao Miyazaki for like his Disney-esque type of like, well, it's not really Disney, but it's the closest Japan has to Disney. You know, things like that. I think he kind of gets overshadowed a little bit just because I was like, he must have had more movies, because I've seen a good chunk of his movies. Like, oh, he didn't have as much as I thought he would, but like he has like such a great like surrealism type of like art style, even with like Perfect Blue,
right?
And like, man, I'm still a pretty big avid anime watcher, but the attention to detail in these, like in his movies and his like even his anime show, I don't know if you ever watch it, Paranoia Agent. It's you might recognize it if I describe it to you. So it was on Cartoon Network for a little bit.
Okay.
But it's about a kid with the rollerblades and a golden bat, and it's kind of crinkled up, and he has a hat. It was always on what was it called, Adult Swim. Oh yeah, that one is kind of like no one kind of understood it. It is very like, you know, just philosophical. You know, it's kind of a little bit deeper.
And he likes to do that, like push the boundaries.
Yeah, because even Black Swan was what's it called? It was inspired by Perfect Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's super good, and I just like, you know, it's a kind of like a fading art style, like with like how like these things are drawn. Right. Because one of my favorite scenes in Perfect Blue is when she's just in her room, and you kind of just like look at her room and all the little details.
Wow, so detailed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like, I had to like rewatch the parade in this.
Oh.
Because there is so much to it.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he doesn't have as much movies as I thought, just because I can't imagine the amount of work. Because these are hand drawn.
Right.
Dude, this was like way before, like not way before computers, but
yeah,
you can tell like the effort is just, it's amazing.
Yeah, that was an interesting. Sorry, totally side note.
No, go ahead.
But well, like when I was part of the anime club, we went and we did to Anime Expo in California, and God, it was probably maybe like 95, 96.
Was that when it was in Anaheim?
It was Long Beach.
Long Beach. Oh wow.
And there was there was a bunch of booths that were selling like the original art cells, the original hand-drawn painted art cells that were used in the in anime series. That was like the big thing that year.
That would have been so cool to have.
And it was so interesting. Like the prices of things was, the bigger the eyes were, the more expensive. So like you could have like pictures of like animals and like somebody getting like punched in the face, and if their eyes were closed, it was like it's only like $25. But then you had like the main character, even like a side character, and it was like a big wide-eyed expression, and all of a sudden it was like $250 for that cell.
Was that like were those like original cells?
Yeah.
Oh, just imagine if you had one.
I have a few.
Oh, you have a few?
Yeah, I had. I actually got a Yu Yu Hakusho.
You know, Christmas is coming up. That's my top 5 anime.
And there was the little like god baby.
Oh, the with the pacifier.
Yeah, and I really liked that character, so I have like a handful of cells from that, and then I have a couple cells I got from Slayers, which was the girl in the metal bikini.
Oh man, but yeah, let's get to talking about the how this movie starts off. Which banger! It starts off so good, and I was like, it hooks you. Right. It has to hook you because it can, like, if you're not paying attention to this movie, it could lose you at any moment.
Right, and if you don't know what to expect, if you had not heard, like, if I hadn't heard this is kind of like Inception-ish. I would have been so lost right off.
But the beginning of this movie, I feel like, it's inspired a lot of people as well. It has to. Satoshi Kon had to inspire a decent amount of like directors, right?
Oh, totally.
But it starts off like you're like in a circus, like a very world's greatest show situation, and then we have Japanese James Jonah Jameson. That's all I could think of. I was like, oh my god, is that J.K. Simmons? But he's like staking out this circus show, but it's almost like you could already tell it's like something is a little off because like there's things that like are very surreal, right?
Right.
And he like stops like next to this father and daughter, like the daughter's on the father's shoulders, and then she has a mask behind it, but the mask is like moving its eyes, and like they're like, oh yeah, someone's watching you. He's like, don't worry, he's a friend. And then all of a sudden the spotlight shines on him. Yeah. And then this was called the showman was like, oh, look who's in this cage, and it's Detective Tonokawa. And then all of a sudden, like, patrons from the audience start coming at him, but they all have his face.
Right. Total nightmare.
He was like, it was so disturbing. And then he falls to the floor, but then he gets swept up by who we don't know, but like later we find out is Paprika. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of going through just very classic movie movie things like George of the Jungle, or it's not George of the Jungle, Tarzan. Sorry, yeah. I'm thinking about Brendan Fraser. Then we go into like a possible like 007 James Bond movie.
Yeah, kind of like a Mystery on the Orient Express kind of.
Yeah, and then we go through what's it called? There's a Hong Kong director. It's like Andrew Kai Wong or whatever. He does a good amount of like romance, but like sort of like good like romance that guys could be like, yeah, I like that movie too. I forgot his name, but like it's like a little situation, like a little action scene or whatever. Yeah, he's like going through these things, and you're like, well, what is happening, right? But then all of a sudden, he shows up in a hallway, which is like this scene that probably was like in Inception with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Totally.
The dream sequence, and he's seeing somebody get shot, and he's like falling slowly.
Yeah, like slow motion fall, but the person who shot him is like running the other direction at like regular speed.
Yeah, and you're like, and he tries to chase, but then the world falls underneath him.
Yeah. And
then after that, he wakes up in a bed.
Right.
With a device stuck to his head, which is called the DC Mini. We find out that's what it's called because of Paprika, who also wakes up next to him, and I was like, oh man, are they about to do it? That's all I could think about. Hotel rooms are nothing but filled with debauchery. No, but then like we what's it called? Right after that, like he's like, oh, when can I see you again? Maybe this is the first time he's kind of been able to de-stress, but like they're doing this whole situation because he wants to solve a homicide.
Yes.
And this is like, and his colleague from college was like, hey, maybe this will help you kind of make you see something that you possibly didn't see before.
Right. Almost like you go into like hypnosis or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can remember things that
your like subconscious mind like picked up on.
That you aren't consciously aware of.
Yeah, and so he tells Paprika, he's like, hey, when can I see you again? She like hands him a card that has like a website like radioclub.jp and all that stuff. And then we go through the title sequence of Paprika, which is like kind of reminiscent of Perfect Blue, with the way she's like skipping through the town.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's like going into people's shirts. She's like on a painting.
Some of it's really cool.
Yeah.
Very anime, surrealistic kind of anime opening.
Yeah, super cool. And then we open up to it. This is like an elevator with like just super fat guy. I was like,
yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of threw me off. I was like, am I dreaming? Is this supposed to be a dream? Because this guy is he's like morbidly obese.
Right.
Like a functioning obese person. Because he's stuck in like a elevator. I was like, how fat is this guy? He must be American, right? Is that what this is supposed to be? But he's not. He's like, his last name is like Tokitawa or something like that. But we meet up with him and probably our main character, Dr. Atsuko,
Right.
who Tokitawa calls like Achan and all that stuff, and we find out that this this company is creating this machine that can help with psychotherapy.
Right. It's supposed to be like a psychological tool that psychiatrists can use to help people delve into their dreams, because the meaning of the dreams is more than just random.
Yeah, but what's cool about that too is because like in the beginning they kind of there's a good amount of like funny levity to this movie because we have the doctor who's like the bald guy. I forget his name, but they just keep calling him Bald, Dr. Bald or something like that. But he's talking about how like at the beginning
he's like the Master Roshi.
Yeah. He's hilarious. He's like super adorable. It's so funny because I remember like, this is towards the end of the movie, but when Paprika was like, you don't want the bald angry man to get mad at you, right? And then it pans over to him, and he just looks like hurt. He's like rubbing his head. But no, like the doctor explains, like the dreams at the beginning, or like the sequencing at the beginning, it's very very surreal.
Right.
But then like the deeper you get into your sleep, the root of the problem or the root of the dream becomes a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
Super cool. I was like, man, that's because like it's like it's funny. Like nobody like when someone made me realize like this about it, I was like kind of like mind blown. But it's just like when like you wake up, you can never remember your dream. I never thought about that until somebody's like, well, they say like 10, 15 minutes in of consciousness, you just forget your dream.
Right.
And I was like, blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, why did I never thought? Why can't I never thought about how I can't remember my dreams. That's why people have like dream journals and stuff like
right. That. In fact, there's a bunch of like dream stuff that we talked about at the end, but the guy from Twilight Zone, the Sterling, Rob Sterling, whatever.
I think it's Rob Sterling. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, he had a dream journal, and every night he'd wake up and he'd write down his dreams, and a lot of the
episodes
weirdness of some of the episodes were taken translated kind of from his dreams.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some of those are like straight horror, and some of those like that was weird.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so they're going through this, and they actually find out that one of the DC minis that they have got stolen.
Yeah.
Right? And they're talking to the director of the company. He's like this bald guy on a wheelchair.
Right. I immediately was like, is this like Professor Xavier? Bald guy in a wheelchair, and they're talking about going into people's minds?
Yeah, and he's like deathly pale.
Yeah, super pale.
I was like, did they run out of ink or making this guy? But then all of a sudden, Dr. Baldy like runs and throws himself out of the building.
Right, and as he's running, he is like talking just gibberish. Like it's sentences, but that just don't make any sense.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, did he die? Fortunately, I guess, because there was trees, it was probably able to like break his fall. Like lucky.
Right. Yeah, because he's like third, fourth floor.
Yeah, he's like, and he's also like 60, in his 60s or something.
He went to school with the cops, so he's
probably
maybe not in his 60s, but he just looks like it.
Science is very stressful.
Guys. Yeah.
Deadlines, research projects. No, but yeah, so like they're trying to figure out like why he did that, and they're like, well, maybe he was like in a dream or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So they decide to hook up. They decide to employ Paprika, who we actually find out is a dream version of Atsuko.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a what's it called? I thought like in my head. Not a spoiler. This was just like my theory as I watched it. I remember thinking this before when I watched it back in 2008 or something. that was like, oh, it was Paprika like a split personality. That's what I thought, but not. But
right. I have different theories about that, but like with that the
oh yeah. But no, so she ends up going into the Dr. Baldy's dreams, and it's like a parade that's happening.
yeah. Right. And it is the parade of like just
abandoned toys.
Right, but from like everywhere from like when he would have, if he's 60, from when he was a child to like current, and you know, frogs with drums, and
it's a pretty crazy parade. And Paprika, though, she actually gets confronted by something, and you're like, it's like a doll that turns into like a man's face, and you're like, ugh, gross. But she's able to pull the doctor out of it,
right,
by like sinking into him somehow. A lot of this is very fantastical, so it's gonna be kind of hard to translate audio. And so he's able to pull him out of it, and he wakes up, and he looks very like melancholic. He's just like looking at the outside the window. But Konokawa is able to ring him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Paprika is the woman of all dreams." Kind of. But he goes to visit the doctor, and he meets Atsuko, and she's like, "Paprika?"
Right, and he's like, yeah, he's got an inkling that it is, but he's not sure.
Yeah, and
because she's kind of doing that little like on the side.
Yeah,
as a favor to the
company.
Yeah,
or something like that. And it's funny too, because like the relationship for Atsuko seems very cold. Like you see her throughout as you watch especially at the beginning of the movie,
very serious, very
professional, very stoic.
Yeah.
Until it comes to like, what's it called, the fat guy, Tokitawa.
Yeah.
She seems a little bit less. She's like a little less hardened with him.
And it seems more like she is like protective big sister, because they keep mentioning that he is like he's this brilliant genius, but he's like the mind of a genius caught in the body of a really chubby kid. Like he never grew up, but his mind is brilliant.
Yeah, he's a man. He's a boy genius.
Yeah.
In a man's body, in a very fat man's body. He's just so like cartoonishly fat. But what's it called? They figure as they're monitoring the dreams from Dr. Baldy's like dreams, they notice that the face is the face of Himura, who is the apprentice of Dr. Tokitawa.
Right.
Or Tokiwa. Tokitawa doesn't sound right. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, and it's kind of like throwing me off. Tokita. Yeah, Tokita. Okay. And so they're like, all right, well, we got to go to his apartment. Maybe he's the one that stole the DC Mini.
Right, because the DC Mini went missing, and then he hasn't been to work the next couple days.
Yeah, and so they go to a spot, but they see like all these photos of Tokita, and his like face is cut out.
Yeah,
kind of strange, because like they were friends before, going into this profession.
And he made the insinuation that it was like, he was like, yeah, we were, he was my underling, but maybe he did this because he's jealous of me because I'm so much smarter than him.
Oh yeah, because Osanai had mentioned that of jealousy, and all that stuff, and and maybe that's what happened with Himura. And then Atsuko, as she's like investigating the apartment, she gets caught up into a dream where like she goes into like an abandoned amusement park. She's being led by this freaking Kokeshi, I think that's what they're called, or doll.
The little Asian doll with the
creepy doll
bangs.
Yeah. It's like super creepy. You always see those in like Japanese horror games and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I think Kokeshi is like they're like Japan's version of those like Russian dolls. The
seated dolls.
Yeah, is that what they're called? You open it, there's another doll in there.
Yeah.
I think it was like that. But I always remember there was actually a porn studio in Japan named Kokeshi. I was like, that thing looks like a dildo. Classic. Someone's gonna be like, I remember that. From 2005 to 2008.
Right.
But no, it's so and it kind of like throws him off, you know, because then she almost kills herself.
Right.
Yeah, but she gets saved by Osanai. So they go back to the office, and there's two office workers that are now just tripping out. They're like, you know, they're walking around like toys.
Yep.
And so you're like
mumbling weirdness.
Yeah, like hitting people.
I was like totally like, if you were like, hey, if you wanted to like play that you were crazy, you just kind of watch this movie and memorize the lines, because like it's all coherent, but it's like they're talking about being able to taste colors, and you know, the planes arriving late, so just like parts of sentences that just don't mesh.
Yeah, and it's weird. And now the CEO is like, we're shutting this thing down. It's getting kind of crazy. Like people are getting their consciousness invaded while they're
right.
awake.
And they had said something that was like how strong the DCI
frequency.
Mini is until they put like the limiters on it, and he was like, oh, but the ones that got stolen didn't have that on it, and so that like people who have used the DCI Mini now don't even have to wear it, and they're susceptible to it.
Yeah, it's like
and
something with frequency, like brainwave frequencies or something.
Yeah,
like
their brain is already adapted to accepting this false reality, and that's why like the doctor was the first one, because he had used it.
Crazy. That was crazy to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not gonna be a part of any of that. I need these limiters. You know, I need to be able to freaking differentiate reality from a dream. That's what happened to Leonardo DiCaprio's wife at the end, or in the movie Inception. They're really popularized that, right? But no, and so what's it called? They go back to the office, and we cut away to Konokawa, the detective, who ends up going on that website, and then he kind of like gets trapped with Paprika.
Mm-hmm.
Having like a little drink date, but then like Paprika's like, oh, do you like movies? And she takes him to like this very old style Japanese area where they have like those old school movie posters that are painted, and he's like, no, I don't want to watch any fucking movies.
Right, yeah, because he's like, no, I don't like movies. And they're like, but all your dreams were like represented by movies.
Yeah, like look at this Tarzan. That's from a spy thriller, and
yeah.
You know, like, it seems like you like movies. Like, no, I don't like it. And you're kind of, like, drawn into, like, his storyline, too. You're like, why doesn't he like movies, you know?
Yep.
But what's it called? He gets... this is kind of where it gets, like, muddled. Because, like, everything kind of, like, blends in together because all these things are happening at once. But, like, he's stuck sort of, like, in a thing, like a dream thing. I don't know. But then, like, back at the office... what's it called? Tokita. He's like scrapping all this tech.
Right.
Right, and then like,
right, because he's yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Osanai is like, are you sure you want to throw that away? That's super expensive. And Tokita's just like, it's cool. I just make it.
Right. Yeah. None of this is recyclable. So
yeah,
if I need it, I'll just build it again.
Which is like, fuck you, man. It's such a, you know, that's like the thing about it, right? Is like when you think about like these people that like have this like super high intellect, high genius type of people, some of the things that they say to like people who like maybe struggle with, what's it called, like, you know, with those concepts, can kind of take it a wrong way, and that's what it seemed like Osanai was feeling. But Atsuko sees when Tokita, when he takes off his lab coat, and then there's the toy,
right? Yeah,
that she saw in Himura's dreams, and so they're like, oh my god, we gotta go, Tokyo, where's that from? He's like, oh, it's from this old amusement park that's abandoned now.
Yeah.
Which I think is also wild. I was like, don't you think that's kind of wild that there's like, especially for Japan being as small as it is, that they have this abandoned amusement parks? I was like, I feel like you could utilize that space. But no, they end up going to the amusement park and they're kind of scouring through it. Toki, I'm just gonna call him Toki. He almost gets flattened by Himura because he jumps off like the Ferris wheel.
Yep.
Or something. And so now that guy is like in the ICU. I was like, how are these people staying alive? Because I was like, there's no way. He must have broken every bone in his body.
It's cartoons. You know, you fall from high distances. Somebody can punch you like through a wall, and you know you're mostly okay.
Well, like the doctor, I kind of get. There's like trees, so he probably just hit every branch.
Yeah.
But like this guy was slammed into like glass.
Right through the glass plane
into just cement. But now they have him back at the institute, and they're like, maybe we can. We're still missing like 2 more DC minis. So maybe we can go into his consciousness and try to ask him. And this is Atsuko's plan. She tells Osanai, but then she's like, yeah, I have to go to Dr. Toki and get his help. And he's like, he kind of makes a comment that you're like, that's suspicious. Because he's like, he's so disgusting. Why do you always lean on him? He's like, but he's a genius.
Right.
And you're not. Like, geez, just tell the guy he's a small penis already. That's the kind of insecurities that you like these sapiosexuals are having. You know, like when so someone's like a child. I think that's what the sapiosexual is like when you're attracted to someone's intellect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called. Someone's gonna be like, no, that's not. That means you're attracted to monkeys, you donut. I'm like, wait, I don't want that. That's not what I meant. Yeah. See, sapiosexuals are attracted to high intelligence. But yeah, like, and so like, what's it called? Dr. Baldy is like having a situation with Konakawa again. I'm blanking on their whole middle part. I'm pretty sure it's just a little bit of like how like he's trying to deal with these dreams, and they talk about Paprika.
Right, and so doesn't Takedo Dr. Takio?
Oh, Dr. Toki.
He goes in.
Oh yeah.
Without Paprika.
Well, yeah, no. So like, yeah, that's where Atsuko she goes into him and she's like, we have to figure this out, and he's like, oh no, but I'm so busy doing this, and that's when she kind of berates him like,
yeah,
you and Himura are so alike that when you're focused on something that you want to focus on, everything else kind of falls by the wayside. But you have to be responsible. This is your tech.
Yeah.
You have to take responsibility and stuff like that. So she kind of gets dragged away by Osanai and the doctor. And then so Dr. Toki, he's like, all right, maybe I'm going to go by myself.
Yeah.
And, he tells, like, whoever's monitoring, hey, pull me out when I need you to pull me out. So, he goes into the dream. He meets Himura, but then he kind of something happens where he's, like, not able to pull him out. And he gets, like, attacked or something. It seems like these dreams are not just one person's dreams.
Right. It's like because the DCI is being used, like anybody who's like all those dreams kind of start to fuse.
Yeah.
Like it's like our first movie for this month when like they were going into other people's consciousness and then be able to control them.
Yeah.
And then
terrifying.
Then you weren't sure whose consciousness the person was in, if it was in the the victim or the
alien invader.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it starts to
just meld.
Yeah, and this is similar, but it's dreams, and you're not sure whose dream is who's dreaming.
Yeah,
where they're at in.
You're just it's so messy. You're like, You have to pay attention to this movie. You can't put this movie on the background.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But what's it called? See, this is like the whole Konikawa, the detective Konikawa like storyline, kind of like is. I get it. It converges at the end, but like in the like in the beginning, in the middle, you're like, why is this even a story right now?
Right. Yeah.
Wait. But what's it called? At some point, Atsuko kind of figures out that the main controller, is the CEO of the company,
Right.
Inui, and because he's made points before where he's like, science shouldn't tread on the human consciousness or whatever. He goes on this huge tirade after trying to pull out Toki out of his dream and realizing she can't. Meanwhile, Konakawa is like in his own little dream sequence that's happening. Because then we do find out a little bit somewhere in the movie where he actually loves movies.
Right, and he made his own movie like when he was in college.
Yeah, a little 8mm.
Yeah,
very classic. Very Spielberg. But he was making it with his. I don't know. It was high school. I think it's college. I don't know. They don't specify.
School.
Yeah,
in
school. But like he ends up not finishing it with his friend, because his friend was what's it called? I think he was going into actually becoming a cop, which their movie was about a cop and robber, or two best friends. One becomes a criminal, one becomes a thief, a cop.
Yeah.
Actually, like the movie plot kind of sounded gas. I was like, that kind of sounds cool, because like the way that he described the movie is like throughout the whole movie, the movie really is just them chasing each other.
Right.
But as the movie goes along, it goes into like little flashbacks of like things that are happening. I'm like, that's kind of gas. I want to watch that. That kind of sounds like a really cool movie idea. Very like, what's it called? The machine, not the Memento-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, yep.
Meanwhile, what's it called? Paprika, or Atsuko, she's able to figure out that Inui is the actual perpetrator of what's happening in this dream world that's going on right now, and so she hops out of the machine. She gets into the car with Dr. Baldy.
Right.
And they're able to drive to his estate, where he's like in a botanical garden. Is that what they're called? Atriums?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then like it seems like he's like, I told you, you're banned from using it. This is God's realm, or whatever. He's like, nonsense. This was a very like cult-like speech.
Yes. Right.
But he's like, now he's walking, and you're like, whoa, he didn't need the. He's in the Savage Lands with Magneto right now. Is that what that place was called? The Savage Lands? Yeah. I remember that from the 90s TV show.
Yep.
But no, he walks out and he has like little tree roots walking for him, and you're like, oh, she's still dreaming. And Dr. Baldy is not Dr. Baldy. It's Dr. Osanai. And you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew you were no good. I knew you were trash, dude. And Dr. Baldy is still watching in the monitors, and she's like trying to wake up Atsuko. She's not able to, and so Paprika ends up getting captured.
Right.
And now he's like now she wakes up in this butterfly room, which I never understood, like collecting bugs like that. I guess like, I'm pretty sure science. But like as a hobby, I don't know. My best friend was like from Japan, and he told me he used to collect like those Hercules beetles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like it was like a competition who could find the biggest beetle.
Right.
Did you used to do stuff like that?
My mom taught biology, so I have an excuse.
So you had it at the house. You're like, yeah, look, this bug has malaria. Mom said to be careful. Well, what is it, epidemiologist or something like that? Like the study of like insects, or she was just an all around biologist?
Yeah, she was biology, and pre-nursing, like people who are going into the nursing program. She was like introduction to biology for.
Oh, really?
She was general biology and then introduction to biology for majors, like people who are going into nursing.
I'm surprised you didn't become a nurse.
And then also environmental science.
Oh, I sucked at that too. Earth science, geology, not for me, good sir. It sucks because I used to like science, and then it just got too hard.
Right.
So math is hard. Get it away from me. I know numbers is a universal thing, but Jesus, at what cost? No, and he's like, I mean, it was pretty much obvious that he was like super in love with Atsuko.
Yeah.
The whole time, and he's like sort of like kind of being very creepy, sexual assaulty.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it is like, yeah. Don't make me get so rough with you.
It's a really weird scene to be like. It's like so direct, but like elusive. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. It's a scene you got like.
Yeah, it's very serial killer. Yeah.
Right.
Very Hannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Konokawa is in his own situation, dream sequence, where he's getting to the depths of like his underlying trauma, and like we see that like the movie that the reason why he keeps killing himself in the movie is, or like in his consciousness, is because like in the movie he was supposed to shoot his friend.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and like he's watching it in the theater or something like that, and no, he walks into the theater after that, and like he sees Paprika on the table pinned up, and then Osanai, like, friggin' what was that thing from Indiana Jones, the heart thing?
Oh yeah.
What was the chant? I forget.
Yeah.
But like he does that like near her pelvis, and kind of like it's kind of weird because then like he puts like his hand into her body, and he starts to like travel up, and you can see the hand underneath the skin, and then he like rips off the Paprika skin,
and then
she's the underlying thing underneath it,
right?
And then what's it called? But then the Inui, the CEO, is like, oh, I can't leave you alone, can I? And he like pops out of his thing like freaking Total Recall.
And you realize they're like sharing a body.
Gross. Why would you want an 80-year-old in your body?
Yeah.
Oh man, they start having this inner battle. Meanwhile, Konokawa is trying to push himself through the screen, and he's able to save Atsuko during the whole scuffle with the doctor, or with Inui and Osanai, and he's able to escape with her into the street, and then Dr. Baldy is like, his face is on the monkey.
Oh yeah,
in the movie poster. I could have stopped laughing because it looks so goofy. Yeah. It goes perfect because of the voice actor too. Little monkey face. Oh man. But they're able to somewhat sort of escape this dream world,
right?
To an extent, he's able to Dr. Baldy's able to pull out Atsuko out of the dream world, and then Konokawa. Oh no, what's it called? He tries to chase Osanai, and then like Osanai, he goes into that little hallway where that one body is like floating down slowly.
Oh yeah.
And then he's able to shoot Osanai. He's able to finish the film that him and his friend were supposed to be making, and so that's when they kind of get pulled out of the dream for a little bit. Until the big Japanese doll is Godzillaing this building now.
Yeah, they're walking across like a glass walkway from one building to another, and all of a sudden that giant doll face is like just looking at them through the.
You think she could beat Godzilla?
No, nobody can.
Yeah, and now the whole city is in a shared dream, that's what it seems
It's
like.
what it seems like.
Yeah, because I don't know if like at the end of the movie, the is Japan like in Rex? That's what I'm trying to think.
Right, because like it's now blurring the line between real and reality and dream,
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like it's sucking everybody's
like consciousness into
it.
it. So it's super crazy. What's it called? Konokawa is he was at the bar and he's like looking at the two attendants and they're kind of like a little funny duo as well.
Right.
But they help Konokawa try to figure things out and he's like, the two attendants are like, it looks like the lines are getting too blurred now. We have to stop them.
Yeah.
So they have a super cool entrance, by the way, when they're as they're trying to escape. Paprika kind of splits off of Atsuko because she's like the dream version of her.
Right.
And they're like trying to find a way to stop this, but Atsuko sees Dr. Toki and his little robot thing.
Right, yes, because now he's in a robot body. The one from the defunct
amusement
park.
Like he's able to save her from the huge Japanese doll because he has those chest missiles, but then he eats her up.
Right.
As she's trying to talk to him. But then later we find out, like, as everything's kind of coming to a head, like, what's it called? The two attendants from the bar, they're able to stop the robot with, like, banners. It's so cool because at the end you see them, they're all injured.
Right.
I like that. I like that continuity.
Yeah, yep.
But what's it called? And then they're able to derail him into the building, and then this huge like dream-like version of Atsuko actually pulls them out, and it's kind of reminiscent of the first time you see them on the screen.
Right.
But it's a little bit more like deep-rooted because like when like the thing comes down, like she has her body to his back, and she's like kind of like a little bit berating him. She's like, hey, "You're so fat," but there's something that's warm about him or something like that, and like you. Apparently, I have to look this up, but apparently in the novel, it's less like where did this come from? Like there's actually like a little bit of a buildup.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
her liking Dr. Toki, Paprika ends up sort of like floating into the robot's body, and then all of a sudden this huge version of the CEO comes up, and he's like Godzilla's worst enemy right now.
Right, and it was kind of like as he's like I guess, growing on everybody's fear as they start.
Or he's like sucking up their consciousness,
or
something like that. He's like destroying this dream world. Like on the Wikipedia, he has like he wants to be like this nihilistic, omnipotent being. He's just like, I don't know what any of that means. Oh, I know what omnipotent means because it's a magic card. But no, like, and then like Paprika is able to sort of meld her consciousness back with the original Atsuko. And at first she kind of comes out like a baby, but then she starts sucking up the CEO.
Right, yeah, the dark energy.
Yeah, and then they have this like full battle. Well, it's not really like a huge battle, but she starts to suck up his like consciousness. Because Osanai actually dies from the gunshot that Konokawa had given him earlier. And he had absorbed him fully while they were like melding their consciousness or something like that. It's very Orochimaru from Naruto, He's like, I want your young body. But no, yeah, she's able to fully consume his consciousness. And then the dream is done. It's like this crossing of these dreams and consciousness is like she eradicates it. She fully cuts it off.
Right.
And then everybody kind of wakes up, from the whole situation. You assume you don't really get to see much after that because then we start to it just goes straight back to the detective.
Right.
And he revisits the radio club JP, and that's when we see the two attendants with like the arm casts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Paprika had left you this note, and it says Atsuko is gonna change her surname to Tokita. So, you assume that they've now have confessed, well, at least she confessed his love or her love for him.
Right.
And maybe it's the same vice versa. And Paprika's like, oh, yeah, you should also watch Dreaming Kids, which was supposed to be Satoshi Kon's last movie before, before they scrapped it.
Right.
Because they're like, we're not going to finish this without him or something. I don't know what happened, but he's like, you should go watch that movie. And so he goes to the movie theater because presumably he's probably hasn't watched a movie in a very long time because his best friend died before he got accepted to film school, and I think he had cancer, which I was like, oh man, was that like a thing? Like,
oh, I didn't put that together, but you're right.
Back in 2006, you're like, oh, that's terrible, and then now you're like, oh, is that what happened? But it's kind of cool though because like not the cancer, but like when he's going to the movie theater, you see all of his movies,
movie posters.
Yeah,
for
it's like Perfect Blue, Millennium Girl, and Tokyo Godfathers, and the movie just ends right there.
Right. Yeah.
Very very abruptly. You're like, he's like, you guys figure it out. Before we go into our thoughts of the movie, let's go into our other segment. We have high star, low star.
So we got ourselves a 10 out of 10 true masterpiece. Yes, we were already familiar with his exceptional Japanese art piece animations such as Ghost in the Shell, Ponyo, Spirited Away. Paprika is no exception, except for when we talk about the dreams and dreaming. Yet again, Japanese directors' innovative and original way of thinking yielded another masterpiece that I regret that I watched so late. How could I miss it? Paprika should also be exceptionally mentioned and applauded as it provides the very best core of the Inception movie. Not that Inception became less valuable after I watched Paprika. Inception is still my favorite of all time. But instead, my respect to Paprika grew even more. I strongly advise Paprika to those who like strange, confusing, and mysterious novels. Only one thing I regret about this movie is even in its adequate length for a regular animation, I'm still hungry and crave for more. It was an exceptional experience.
Yeah, read the book then, man. Actually, like, I have all the time in the world right now, and I still haven't read any books. Like, I used to love reading books.
Right.
Oh, man. So we have one, which I was like, that's weird. Undisciplined, uninteresting visual noise. A movie is interesting only if it makes sense. Despite a plethora of visual, intriguing animation and lots of conversation that hint at or suggest possible meanings behind it, this movie is a complete artistic failure because ultimately nothing that happened in it could be explained in some coherent fashion. It's a dream. It's a dream, bro. Like,
right.
Instead, ideas and images flash across the screen like the raw product of an artistic bull session. What does that mean? I don't know. At the end of the movie, my wife asked me to explain what had happened. I had no explanation to give her because none existed. It's like, no, you just couldn't interpret it, bro. Only watch this movie if you appreciate visual eye candy for its own sake. If you want your movies to mean something, you will be deeply frustrated. I think it meant a lot.
Right.
I think this guy just looked like uneducated to his wife. He's like, oh, well, it didn't mean anything, babe. If I didn't understand it was complete BS.
Yeah, I can't explain it to you, so it was trash.
Yeah. I mean, I think this movie perfectly depicts how like dreams sometimes feel like. You're like, what did that mean? What did that dream mean?
Right, this like you kind of said like the very first scene where he's at the circus, and then all of a sudden, he's under spotlight. He's in the cage. Everybody starts running at him, and they all have like his face. Like that's a dream. Like that is
how dreams can be.
Right.
Like, one of the scariest like dreams I could always remember, or like I'm always like afraid of, is like when you go like maybe you go into like a classroom or like a workplace, and then like you walk in, and then everyone suddenly just looks at you, like the noise stops, it becomes like dead silent, and they just look at you. You're like, nah, this is a dream. This is creeping me out, because if it's not a dream, I'm gonna start throwing hands.
Right. And things just morph. I always remember I had a dream when I was a kid, and it was like down like my neighborhood, and somebody was coming down the street in like a white pickup truck.
Yeah.
And I was talking to like a girl that lived on my block, and we had to go somewhere, and then I was like, to the guy in the pickup truck, I was like, hey, can you give us a ride? And then I turned and I was talking to the girl, and he was like, no, I can't. And then we turned back and he was like, I can't because I'm on my motorcycle. And then he was on a motorcycle. And it was like, I don't have any room for you guys. And I was like, oh, that totally right. No, I don't even know why I asked you.
You'd be like, what are you talking about? You have a sidecar. And I was like, oh, I do have a sidecar. Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't want to wake up from dreams. I'm like, I'm rich in this dream.
Yep.
Like, I opened my door. I was like in my mansion. It's like, so, yeah. Sometimes, you know, there's like, it's so funny. Like, when you smoke enough weed, you're like, oh man, are dreams just perceptions of different realities?
Could be.
Right? Because I'm doing absolute dimes in my dreams. Like, I must be rich in this universe because there's no way. Yeah, I can definitely see this not being really well received for Western audiences. Just like, not for Western, but more for like the casual moviegoer.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing in this is like being spoon-fed to you. Like, it's, there was like even like an interview, and he was, the director was saying that like he wants his movies to be like 50-50 of, you know, 50% of what happened, and then 50% of it you have to figure out.
Yeah, because definitely, like, you could definitely see those sort of scenes in his other works too. Like in Perfect Blue, like one of my favorite visual scenes was like at the beginning of the movie with the creepy janitor guy, when he holds up his hand to like the main character, and she's like, it looks like she's dancing in his hand, and it's like sort of like, is that like some sort of like image of like a possession, like you're like my figure, my toy, and I have you at the pawn. This is the same with this, you know. I mean, like, I think what's really good for like just like casual moviegoers is like, especially the last sequence when they're kind of hopping in and out of like different things.
Right.
That's a really cool sequence.
Yeah.
You know, that's like that was a 50%. Like, here, you'll enjoy this portion of it.
Right. And it was like, is that considered breaking the fourth wall? Like, when you can just like, when you realize that like a picture, you can just touch the picture and go into it, or you could jump through the TV screen. I mean, I know they're not coming out and being like self-aware, but it's.
Oh, I love that scene where they jump into the TV and they're coming out of the camera. A lot of like like, you know, like, yeah, the 1 out of 10 guy was like, it's visually stimulating. It very much is, but it's because it's supposed to like feel like almost like an abstract painting, where like, or like, what's it called? What's that one guy who made the the Usher? What's that painting guy? Like something Usher. You know, the staircase painting.
Oh yes. Oh my god.
They just
it's like E.M. Escher or something like that.
Yeah. It's that's what this movie sort of feels like.
Yeah.
And that's like what dreams sort of feel like. There's no really rhyme or reason, you know.
Right. And there was a scene where they're in the movie theater, and Paprika's talking to the detective. Yeah. And then the detective puts on a pair of sunglasses and like a little golf hat.
Oh, yeah.
And so he looks just like Kurosawa from like the director from Seventh Samurai. Yeah. And then he explains like parts of
filming techniques.
Filming techniques to her, and it's like you're like in a dream in a movie theater talking to a director telling you how to make movies.
Yeah, you know, that I like that sequence too. It's funny. It's very like, that portion is kind of educational if you ever want to make movies, because he's talking about like perspectives, filming techniques, and You know, obviously, if you're doing any of this type of media, you're a student of the craft. That was like a really cool portion too, and it does kind of take you out of the movie, but you're like, it's just one of those scenes that like it feels very art housey.
Right,
Like,
right.
what is this supposed to mean?
And like it to me, that scene tied movies into dreams, like in a different way. Like that scene, like all of a sudden it was like, oh well, we always go to like the movie theater, and then just we like let our mind go, and whatever's happening on the screen is happening in our head.
Yeah.
Like a dream, and it's just like we can't control it. It's just happening. So like movies are like, you know, I don't know, like physical dreams. Like,
yeah. Just
I don't know how to explain that, but like it, when he was talking about it, it all of a sudden it made me realize like that the movies that are in this were like, I don't know, were they representing dreams, or were they were our dreams? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. This movie is hard to decipher. Like it just makes you feel some sort of way, though. You know,
right?
You know? Because like I think ever since probably like people could communicate and like try to decipher what their dreams are about, or their underlying messages that we're trying to think about, and I think there's a lot of more like messages to be like said about like why the doctor was doing what he was doing, or like the CEO why he was doing what he was doing.
Right, and I'm like, I just watched, like I'd never seen this before, and so I didn't really know anything about it, and then I watched it, and I just didn't have the time to. But man, this needs another watch. Like,
yeah, I fully digest this.
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah, it's crazy too because I was like, oh, let me see what other people on YouTube said. There's not a lot of videos on this on YouTube, like people just talking about it,
right?
Explaining it. And man, I remember I was like probably 2009 or 8. I wanted to buy this movie on Blu-ray. Man, they were trying to charge me $50. I was like, that's a lot for 90 minutes.
And then I almost thought to myself, I was like, because I watched it subtitled, because that's you're supposed to watch anime subtitled.
Yeah.
It's just, but I was like, the next time I watch it, I kind of want to watch it dubbed, so I can like pay more attention to the visuals. Like I think like there's probably stuff I missed because I was reading.
Oh, okay.
Like in the middle of a conversation, I'm like reading, and then I'm not getting the reflection of the cop's friend in the glass
mirror,
and stuff like that.
Oh, seems like Kobe is still a young dumpling when it comes to reading subtitles.
It's been a while. I was way better like back in college when we were.
When my eyes were nice and young and fresh.
Right. Yeah. Like it just kind of like it was all one. But now I'm like back into like.
It doesn't help that T doesn't like watching subtitled movies.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch this with her.
She's been like,
what the hell? Barry's not allowed to pick movies anymore.
No, yeah, definitely, yeah. Like, this Satoshi Kon is a pretty good director. So hopefully he was able to like pick some good like dubbers. Dub actors and stuff like Hayao Miyazaki is able to get some pretty decent voice actors. I like it.
And then it's not right at the beginning of the anime boom where we're already like into it. So you've got some talented people who are.
I know. Like the new the last Miyazaki, or quotes the last Miyazaki movie. I'm pretty sure this should be his last. Like, come on, man. Like, but The Boy and the Heron had a really pretty stacked cast.
Right.
I think he had like Christian Bale return because he loves the Miyazaki movies. Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty stacked cast. I know there's a lot more. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I just saw the cast. I'm like, I'll watch that. Because it's like I feel like people have stopped trying with dubs. Like, Christian Saban can't be everyone, right? That's the guy who did Vegeta, right?
Yeah.
And Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, like 90s dubs are kind of goated. Like Cowboy Bebop. dubbed
right.
is might be better. I don't.
Yeah, there's a few things, and I think it's just because of that era that there was a few things that came out dubbed that were so good that I'm like, I never went back and watched it subtitled because that's not how it's gonna play in my head. I want to hear the original now that I.
Yeah, I think I rewatched Yu Hakusho in the Japanese anime. I was like, oh, this is cool too, but I don't know, man. Chris Saban is so good as Kuwabara.
On a total side note, Netflix just licensed Yu Yu Hakusho for a live action.
I think it's out already.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
No, I would have
watched it already.
I really liked that.
I know. I saw the trailer for it though, and I was like, I'm probably gonna watch it still, but I think I don't know if they're skipping the Dark Tournament arc, which is like probably one of the best tournament arcs in anime, because then they already had Toguro,
right?
The big old muscle dude. They already had him. I was like, you shouldn't have him by now. We should. Yeah. Like the first 4 episodes should be Yusuke getting his whole team together.
Because tournament, I don't know. It's for some reason anime tournament fighting is
so good.
That's my favorite genre of anime.
Yeah, but the Dark Tournament is the best. Everyone always comes back to that. It's the best tournament arc in all of anime. And if you're kind of skipping that, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people have high hopes for it just because the One Piece live action was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty accurate. Pretty they the one thing I would say about it is the emotional parts don't hit as hard as they did in the anime, but only because with the anime you have way more episodes to get really invested.
Right.
Yeah, but I thought the scene with Nami when she's trying to save her village, and then Luffy puts the hat and she looks back.
Yeah.
Hits. It doesn't hit the same. But I was props to her for getting the face right.
Right. No, it was good.
And if people are gonna ask, well, this is not gonna. It already has a live action. It's called Inception. Yeah, it's a shame too because Dreaming Kids was supposed to be loosely connected in this whole universe. That's what an article had said. Are any of the is any of the con universe connected? And they're yeah, it is. Dreaming Kids is supposed to be connected to this, and I want to know what that story was supposed to be because it just kind of makes me sad that I'll never.
Especially if there was some kind of connection to this universe that makes it even.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a novel for it, I'll read. I'll read the novel. Give me it. You know what I mean? All right. Well, we're coming up to our thing. First of all, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months down below. We have a bunch of months for you. We have Danny Trejo month, Nicolas Cage month.
Yeah. Space Debris month. We have
In Space month.
In Space month.
Yeah.
We just did our holiday.
Yeah, we
our
have
annual holiday.
Yeah, we have a bunch of holiday months for you. Halloween and Christmas, the 2 most important months in the year. June too. That's just when my birthday is. But yeah, definitely. This is the first time you guys are joining us. Though we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have a streaming it, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and the ultimate Satoshi Kon box combo. That's easy. It has to be the box combo.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would definitely. This is like I said. I already want to rewatch this, it's definitely one of those things. So anime fans should be "Have you seen this?
Yeah,
come on over, sit down, let's have a drink."
I feel like people have not seen this too. It's there's been this huge anime boom the last couple years. In the American audience and all that stuff, and finally you don't have to hide that you watch anime. It's just for kids. But definitely Satoshi Kon is definitely should be on one of those Mount Rushmore of anime directors.
Right, and it is. But this was 90 or 2006.
Yeah.
So that whole new generation that's getting into it. isn't going back that far.
Yeah.
So you have to grab them and like be like, watch the classics.
Oh, I know, right? It's just, there's more to anime than Miyazaki.
Right. A few years ago, my daughter really got into anime, and I was like, Akira, and she's like, I never heard of it, and I was like, oh, sit down. You can't watch anything else. And it was like, because we were going to we were going to an anime convention, and she's like, I never heard of that, and I was like, I guarantee you, at least every other booth will have the motorcycle. At least, every booth that has like figures is going to have as many places will have a Akira thing as Dragon Ball. And she's like, no. And then we walked through. It's like, oh, that's Akira. Oh, that's Akira. There's the big bubbly arm. Yeah. And she's like, oh my god.
All right, fine, old man.
Yeah. Right.
No, like these old anime movies they're just pieces of work, like the masterpieces. Like, oh my god, someone went like frame by frame with Akira, and they're like, look at the details in the shadows and all this stuff. I was like, jeez. Same with like Satoshi Kon stuff, like. At least, like, if, like, you're, like, kind of apprehensive about watching these old ones, you gotta at least watch, like, the highlights, the key, like Perfect Blue. Watch Perfect Blue. It's terrifying.
And certainly no hit on the computer animators now, because,
Dude, they gotta pump out so much content now.
But, like, the old hand-drawn, like, it's just...
Yeah, but the demand is just so great now. Like, people will talk about, like, have you seen the dark bags under Mappa animators? Like, it's bad. It's like, it looks like mine. I just have it because I don't sleep that much. They don't get to see their families. There's like ongoing jokes on TikTok, or like it's like a little skit with Mappa animators and like their overlords. Like, oh, you just finished that? All right, cool. Now do this one. It kind of sucks. I kind of feel bad for them because then sometimes, like, the quality kind of dips a little bit. But when you have to work on like stuff like Attack on Titan, and then right after that project's done, you got to work on another thing. Like, and they're like, oh, look at this person. He did it all by himself. He's like, yeah, he did like 10 seconds of an anime. Meanwhile, these people have to do like this much every month. They're like, just chill out. All right, fucking relax. Because I bet you if you go to that guy, he's like, all right, I want you to animate this entire season. They're like, oh, no. that 10 seconds took me like 4 months. All right, relax. But thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our links down below to get in contact with us.
We got all our socials. We got Facebook and Threads and Twitter and Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. We need you to follow us on everything.
But thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.